Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video showcases another letter from Jennifer from Germany, but let me just make a correction to my first video in this series. I mistakenly called one of Wade's victims Kristen. Her name is Christine. My apologies to her memory and to her loved ones and anyone else who I may have offended. May she rest in peace. Unfortunately, the sideshow continues to roll on, and Jennifer has taken a front row seat by not only writing Wade in jail, but she has taken it upon herself to write the judge. She says she has evidence of his innocence and is more than willing to assist the judge with seeing the errors in the case. Let's get started.
Dear Mr. Thompson, I have been following and researching the Wade Steven Wilson case for several weeks now. I come from Germany and my English is not perfect, but I hope you can still understand me. I'm sure I know who's really behind the murders. I am shocked that as judges you do not notice the obvious discrepancies and convict a man who is clearly innocent. I am aware that you have probably received many letters in the last few weeks, but I will now list some of the discrepancies and connections from the witnesses in the hope that you will reconsider your judgment. It should be in the interest of the victims and survivors to find the real perpetrator and not to convict a man who has been framed by the witnesses and the judiciary. My discrepancies and lists are facts and not speculation. Hopefully you have already learned that all of the witnesses in this case have previous convictions for drugs, assault, fraud, and strangulation. 1. It is said in the trial that Wade Wilson unlocked Christine Melton's cell phone using Face ID with Christine's dead face. You can't unlock an iPhone using Face ID if the person has their eyes closed. The phone will only unlock if you hold your face clearly in front of it with your eyes open. An iPhone unlocks itself after a few minutes, which means Wade Wilson must have known the code to unlock it, otherwise he wouldn't be able to use the cell phone for the rest of the day. Christine Melton must have still been alive when Wade Wilson left her house. 2. It is alleged that Wade Wilson wanted to put the body in the trunk, but the victim's body was too heavy to transport. It makes no difference to the weight of a body whether it already has rigor mortis or not. The corpse was rolled up in clothes, so it made no difference whether the corpse was stiff or soft. The real perpetrator intentionally left the body in the house so that it would be quickly found by the police and linked to Wade Wilson. 3. Jason Shepard emphasized in his testimony that he took his own cocaine. What kind of drugs did Jason Shepard give to Mr. Wilson? According to the statement, these were not clean drugs. Jason Shepard didn't open the door when Mr. Wilson rang the bell to get his cell phone back. Jason Shepard states that he heard the bell and he also knew that Wade Wilson rang the bell to get his cell phone back. Jason Shepard is said to be driving the Dodge Hellcat on Sunbury. Why is the car found a day later at Edison Bar? 4. Melissa Montanez says Wade Wilson attacked her, her nose exploded and there was blood everywhere. Why was no blood from the victims found on Wade Wilson when her nose literally exploded? Diane Ruiz wouldn't have gotten in the car with Wade Wilson if he was covered in blood. Benson's witnesses say the attack on Montanez happened at 7:30 a.m. Montanez says she didn't see Wade Wilson's calls and messages until 8 a.m. because she was asleep beforehand. Amy Slobodzian tells police that Melissa Montanez met someone at the Buddha bar and spent the night there. In the trial, she again says that Melissa spent the night on the sofa at her house. 5. According to the doctor, Christine Melton was found to have severe head injuries under the scalp. Why didn't the police seize a murder weapon in Christine Melton's house? Why wasn't the clothing with which Melton was rolled up checked to see if the clothing was actually Melton's clothing? Wade Wilson's DNA was found on the curtain rod. Why exactly was this curtain rod rolled up with the victim's clothes? This is a clear sign that the real perpetrator wanted to draw attention to Wilson and presents the victim, including DNA, through the curtain rod directly to the police. If the curtain rod had not been rolled up directly with the victim, the police would not have found Wilson's DNA. 6. Melissa Montanez says she can't remember where she met Wade Wilson. Every woman on this earth can remember the place and/or the date when she met her partner. Melissa Montanez and Joshua Lukic have known each other for a long time. They have a photo together on Melissa's Facebook profile from February 14, 2019. Joshua Lukic knew about the attack on Melissa at Mila's spa even before Wade Wilson arrived at Matthias Graphics. I will explain to you in the letter for Wade what the witnesses all have to do with each other. 7. Steven Testaseca has a lot of debt. You can easily research it on the internet. Why should a father testify against his own son if there is no money in game? Why did Testaseca's wife not directly let the police listen to Wade Wilson's alleged confession on the phone, but only wrote messages to the police? Mr. Testaseca emphasizes in the statement that Wade Wilson is a good storyteller to convince the jury that Wade Wilson cannot be believed. Steven Testaseca was deliberately chosen as a witness in order to bring a credible witness to the trial. I mean, no father would testify against his son if the actions weren't true. I'm sending you the letter I wrote to Wade Wilson today. You can read it all over there again. 8. Diane Ruiz's wallet was intentionally placed at the school as bait. If Wade Wilson had really been covered in blood, Ruiz wouldn't have gotten into his car. Wade Wilson allegedly choked Ruiz during the ride. When a woman fights for her life, she defends herself with all her might. Wade Wilson would no longer have been able to drive the Nissan without an accident or would have had an unusual driving style that would have been seen by witnesses, since it was in the middle of the city in the morning. The property where Diane Ruiz was found was uneven. You should have seen blood, clothing, skin, or hair on the underside of the Nissan. Police did not examine the underside, although, according to witness statements, Wilson drove over Ruiz's body 10 to 20 times. 9. Patrick Power saw the Nissan at the location at 12 p.m. or later. At 12 p.m., Wilson is recorded by the camera at Matthias Graphic. Patrick Power could not identify a driver. These are just a few of the discrepancies in the whole case. I have many more. If you would like to have these, please contact me by email. Then I will send you any further discrepancies. The witnesses in this murder case all connected to each other and are all criminals. Joshua Lukic and Melissa Montanez known each other for a long time. Both are connected to Mila's husband Lorenzo Pietro Del Vecchio. Lorenzo is a convicted and registered ex-offender. You can also see this on the internet at jacksonville.com. There he is listed under ex-offenders near North Nicholas High School in Cape Coral. It wasn't a coincidence that Jason Shepard connected with Wade Wilson at the Buddha Bar has recorded. Wade Wilson was trapped from that point on in the Buddha Bar, lured. Joshua Lukic's wife was charged with driving under influence in 2022. And now guess who her lawyer is? Hanukkah Daniel, Lee Hollander's partner. That's also why Wade Wilson's defense attorneys don't make any effort to represent him. Wade Wilson was right in the interview with NBC2. Mila's spa is used for prostitution, human trafficking, and drugs. Please read carefully the letter to Wade Wilson that I sent to you. I explain everything in detail and with evidence. Don't do this for my sake, but for the victims and their families. I expect you to reconsider this case with my evidence by August 27, 2024. All evidence I present here is solid evidence and not circumstantial. The trail and the witness statements were only incidental. Best regards. Jennifer Thiel.
So, folks, there you have it. If you find this whole Wade Wilson mess as fascinating as I do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I can't wait to see what phone calls from prison and all the other vloggers here on YouTube have in store for us regarding this saga. Until the next time I upload, have a great and wonderful day.